Church membership is declining quickly, and that has a number of denominations looking for creative ways to bring believers back.
So for one Valley Presbyterian church, that means turning to the experts over at the Phoenix Zoo to keep their congregation from going extinct. Heather Moore with the story tonight.
Religion is an endangered species.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Sunday service at Mission Del Sol Presbyterian Church looks a lot different than it used to.
Society used to appreciate the faith, the moral values, and the spiritual virtues.
Pastor David Hodgson says the leaders of their faith predicted this years ago, that their members would someday disappear.
We've been losing 35,000 members a year for the last couple of decades. By the year 2020, there'll be no more Presbyterians left.
With 2020 now here, the church is still going, but the vast majority of the members are now older, and the pews are more than half empty as the Tempe congregation continues to shrink.
The bloodline has been lost in the church.
Tom Miner is a member of the church. He is a sixth-generation Presbyterian and the last in his line after his children chose a different path. A recent Gallup poll surveyed the dramatic decline of church membership in 20 years. In 1999, 70% of people surveyed said they belonged to a church, compared to 50% in 2019. Across different age groups, 68% of traditionalists born in 1945 or before say they belong to a church. That drops to 57% for baby boomers, 54% for Gen Xers, and only 42% of millennials claimed church membership last year.
Their mindset is just different. It's just a different lifestyle. It's more free thinking.
Miner fears if they don't act quickly, the congregation will be gone.
We're right at the brink of extinction. We're an endangered species.
So the church turned to the experts.
The efforts that we've chosen to do here at the Conservation Center.
On a recent field trip to the Phoenix Zoo, members of the church learned how the Conservation Center works to bring endangered animal populations back, in hopes the same principles can apply to their congregation.
We love it when we inspire people and when they want to come and learn about the work we do to help save species. We have our Chiricahua leopard frogs.
Tara Harris is the Director of Conservation and Science at the Phoenix Zoo, which saw major success back in the 50s, saving the Arabian oryx from extinction.
Many of the Arizona native species that we work on are facing habitat loss and degradation, disease, and invasive species that are outcompeting them or sometimes eating them in the wild.
They include garter snakes endangered from invasive species, Chiricahua leopard frogs threatened by a fungus, and cactus ferruginous pygmy owls who are losing their habitat. The zoo is one of only 6 facilities in the country to bring back the black-footed ferret, highly susceptible to disease and once thought to be extinct.
Yes, they can be very active.
Today, there are 27 in Phoenix and a few hundred in the wild. Conservationists are also working with one of the most vulnerable animals in Arizona, the Mount Graham red squirrel, believed to breed only one day a year for just 4 hours.
It's only found at the top of Mount Graham, and there's really nowhere else for them to go.
That's hot!
The wildfires have been a big threat to them, nearly wiped out most of their habitat.
What is the situation with your church right now?
You know, the one thing I learned today from the zoo was that they don't know what to do exactly when they start these research programs on extinction. You know, they're trying things to see what'll work.
Miner believes the genetic vulnerability of endangered animals translates directly to the members of the church, where young people are nearly non-existent.
How can we survive if we're not responsive to other generations?
And Pastor Hodgson says they also identify with loss of habitat.
We've looked at our own environment. The church environment from within seems toxic to a generation of millennials. It's no longer as open and welcoming as it used to be.
When congregants go away, so do their contributions, making it hard to keep the lights on and the doors open. That's why they have no other choice but to change.
We need to stretch and be more welcoming and open to those who look different than we do, those who have different sacred traditions, those who are in a different place in the spiritual journey.
We just kind of want to keep our church going.
To get something to change, you need to do something different.
So they put their faith in the Phoenix Zoo and an old Bible story about Noah's Ark, hoping to turn the tide of their disappearing denomination.
God says, I'll bring the animals back first, then I'll bring the species back. And that's where we are. We're bringing the species back.